Hey everybody, I wanted to go ahead and go over a couple problems here. So I'm seeing a lot of you are doing great. Actually, everyone's doing great. There's only a few mistakes I'm seeing with the graphing. And so I wanted to go over a couple things that I'm seeing. The first thing I want to do is actually go over number one, because number one is a problem that some people may get confused with because there's only an X on the bottom and because there's nothing to the right. So like on number two, you have the +5 and the -6. So if you don't have anything on the bottom, so all I have down here is an X, then what you want to do is your vertical would be at 0, which means you're going to go to 0 on the x-axis and then draw a vertical line. So it's basically, if there's nothing on the bottom, if there's just X on the bottom, then basically the y-axis becomes your vertical asymptote. So that would be for number one on the vertical. Now notice there's also nothing out here, which means your horizontal would also be at 0, and it would be the x-axis. So it would be something like this. So that's a very unusual problem because of the x-axis and the y-axis are actually your asymptotes. And then the last thing that I'm seeing, and I wish I could, something's in the way here, is where does the graph, or where do the curves go? So the question is we have these sections, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. So when you graph it, it's either going to go in 1 and 3, or it's going to go in 2 and 4. Okay, and the way you determine that is the top number or the numerator. If the numerator is negative, it's going to go in 2 and 4. So it's going to go in the top left and the bottom right. If it's positive, it would go in 1 and 3. So in this case, because it's negative, we know it's going to be in 2 and 4. We know it's going to be in these two quadrants. And so that's the biggest mistake I'm seeing a lot of people make, is they're not putting it in the right sections. And so when you actually graph this, again, because the top number is 3, we're going to go up 3, left 1, let's put a point there, left 3, up 1. And so then the graph would look something like this. Okay, and then we also know it's going to be in this section, so we'd go right 3, down 1. And again, the reason I'm going right 3 is because of that 3 on the top. And then down 3, right 1. And again, you can use a calculator if you need to. There we go. And again, I'm graphing this using the mouse pad with my finger, so that's why it's not great. But that would be how to graph number one. And again, a lot of you are graphing it correctly, you're just graphing it in the wrong sections. So a lot of you would have graphed it, let's say, in 1 and 3 instead of 2 and 4. So just make sure if the numerator, and when I say numerator, I mean the number on top, if it's negative, it goes in the top left and bottom right. And that's what I mean. I've left some comments. When I say top left and bottom right, that's what I mean. Here, 2 is top left, 4 is bottom right. And if it's positive on top, it should be in the top right, bottom left. Okay, so just make sure you're keeping an eye on that, and if you plug it in the calculator, it'll fix that for you. Like, it'll, give you the right points anyway. But if you're not using the calculator, it won't do that for you. So hopefully this helps, and let me know if you have any more questions and if you want me to make any more videos.